So what we're seeing is a welcomed endeavor by the American president to bring back two neighbors to conversation, two important neighbors in the region, that their agreement, at least on the basic pragmatic issues in the region economically, I mean, would mean opening the door for Israel to foster its relationships on wider scale with other Arab key players in the region. However, it also has very much to do with the lack of or the lack of trust that happened between Egypt and Israel over the past 2 years, starting with the Gaza war and starting with October 7, and then the Gaza war and the positions that Egypt has taken. This is the gas deal that everyone is discussing now is kind of the door that should open for conversation on a deeper level on other more pressing issues, like, for example, the return of the diplomatic relations between Egypt and Israel, the border issues, and the military forces on both sides, as each side is accusing the other of violating the peace treaty, which is now is almost non-existent, unfortunately. And the third and most important issue is the regional focus, and also the direct communication between, on the senior level, between President El-Sisi and Prime Minister Netanyahu, which did not happen since 2017 in New York. So the US hopes that it can bring both parties to a new conversation in Miami by the end of this month. However, I don't think it's going to happen. Egypt does not have enough incentives to do that, including with the economic deal about the Eastern Mediterranean gas deal that they are trying to hold now.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about the gas deal. What does it tell us about Egypt's energy crisis, and why is Cairo willing to tie itself so closely to Israel right now?
So it's not a secret that Egypt is so dependent on Israel's gas for several reasons. First is that its own fields, especially the Zohr field, which is represents more than 40% of Egypt's gas wealth, has been depleting over the past 3 years, and its production has dropped dramatically. And also, the prices or the other options available for Egypt to get gas from other than Israel is very high in price, because the only way for Egypt to get gas, let's say, for example, as one Egyptian official recently said, there are other markets like Qatar, for example, but for Egypt to get gas from Qatar, it has to take it in the LNG form, liquefied natural gas form, and this is very pricey, very expensive, compared to getting the gas in its original form from Israel via the pipelines, either the ones, the East Med gas pipeline, which connects between Ashkelon and Ashdod and Al Arish in Egypt, or the Arab gas pipeline, which connects through the Jordan North pipeline to also El Arish in Egypt. So all of these options, Egypt does not have other option. And let me give you one statistics that may be shocking. Last year alone, Egypt exported almost 1 billion cubic meters from Israel per day. 1 billion per day, which shows you how much Egypt is dependent on Israeli gas.